Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and I was just about to do a couple of little things in anticipation of projects. So, meaning this is something that I would kind of do behind the scenes. I'd probably show you in a bigger video, but I'm just going to show you quickly here so that it could be something that you could just do and have these things on hand. So, let me start off by saying, what I've got are some printed labels. So these are just downloaded from the Graphics Fairy. So they're royalty free on plain white paper. So they're kind of boring, but I want to show you how we can age them. These images are from Jamie Ray Vintage. It's a piece of decoupage paper that's all different labels, and so I wanted to get some of these. I've used it on other projects, so rather than it staying squished up over on my, I would say junk table, but this is a huge junk table. I'm so looking forward to creating more crafting storage. That's coming up. We're on phase 2, so 3 phases. So I thought, okay, I'll show you. And the idea is that what we want to do is we want to create waxed antique labels. And these are labels you can make small, big. You could use them in junk journaling or scrapbooking. You could make awesome cards from them. You can attach them onto projects, you know, like bags and socks and tins and all that kind of thing. You'll see where I'm going. Now, the first thing is I don't want to have them cut square. You know, like this guy is cut square because he was left over from a different project. So what I do want to do is I have some plain water here, and I just want to kind of go around my edges with the water. I want to wet this really well, so get some, you know, really get that wet. And then I can slowly tease my paper apart. And that way I get a nice kind of rough edging, so it makes the labels look like they are in fact old and they're worn. So this is the first step, is just kind of getting this irregular edging on all of the images that I want to antique and wax. So let me get this part done to all of them, and ultimately I want that water to have dried on them also. So we'll let that happen, and then we'll carry on to the next step. Now, one thing that you'll notice is a distinct difference between this paper and this. This looks pretty new and pristine. This already has kind of that yellowed, aged look. So to take regular computer paper and make it look a little older, you could take a brown paint and really heavily dilute it, or you could just take some instant coffee and you can mix it up with some hot water and just paint your paper. Now, I will often, for junk journaling, just take full sheets of paper and, you know, drop my coffee on it, let it drip, and create aged paper that I can then run through the computer with these images, so that already it's on there and it looks irregular. But I didn't want to do that, so that I could show you how typically we go from that. And I'm putting drips on it so that, again, it's not going to dry. I'm just putting on the floor to dry. But I'm just putting drips on it so that it, again, dries irregularly, right? It's not going to be super smooth. Now, once those are dry, I will treat them. Where's a good one to do this on? Let me do my pig. I'm looking forward to the pig. One of the things that you can do as well is add additional aging. And you can do this by maybe taking like a distress ink, an archival ink, the IOD stamping ink, typically in kind of a brown. So here I have coffee, and I just use an old makeup sponge, and all you're doing is dipping the sponge in and then kind of going around edges to just kind of age it out. Now you can take your dark wax from any of your furniture refinishing. If you have dark wax, you could do the same thing. You could take shoe polish if you have shoe polish and do that. Or you could also take chalk. So here I have like a mix of different colors. I just usually take, so I'm gonna go for the brown, and I just kind of take the Q-tip. I was trying to think of the non-branded way to say that, and I couldn't think of it. So Q-tip, and we add that in. So we get the dark edging, we're able to add shadowing, and we can just kind of add some of those aged, almost sepia tones to this to be able to add a little bit more dimension to it, right? So we get additional staining. So I'm just gonna do that kind of thing to all the edging. I'm likely just gonna use the ink here and just kind of, you know, work it in here and there on my image, just so that, again, it doesn't look so pristine. It looks a little bit new. Sorry, it looks a little bit old, not so new. And I've got wrinkles in my paper, and we don't need to worry about that because we are actually going to be ironing this at one point. So it'll straighten it all out at that stage. So there's what it looks like now versus just kind of plain like that. So again, even though it's on paper that's a little bit aged looking, we're aging a little bit more. So I'm going to get these done. I just generally always do this kind of in batches. And then we'll be back for the next step, which is the last step. For this last step, we need some parchment paper. We need an iron, so I have my iron getting hot. And in fact, my coffee stained paper, I wanted to be able to use it right away, so I just dry ironed it. The iron has no water in it, so it's just dry heat, and I just dried it with the iron. Kind of goes without saying, but grater. And I just have a little tea light that I pulled the metal piece out of and the wick, and all that we're going to do is just grate up some clear wax, white wax, right? So an old candle that you've got lying around that's been used already. A little tea light is going to give you lots. And I just like to get that grated ahead, and then I just put it into, there you go, fold it over, into a little jar so it's ready for me. Then I'm gonna take, let me take one, oh, I really want my pig, so let's do the pig. So I'm gonna place this on a piece of parchment paper, okay? Put my images down. And then I'm gonna take some of my wax and I'm gonna sprinkle it kind of all over the top. So it doesn't matter if you've got the whole thing covered or not, because we're gonna be melting that wax and you'll be able to smush it around. Smush, technical term. But we're gonna just sprinkle this all over and then lay another piece of parchment on it, okay? Because I don't want wax all over my iron. And then we're just going to take our iron and slowly move it around. You'll see that that wax melts instantaneously. You guys can see already. See how wet that is? That's all that wax. And you'll see that you're able to just kind of smush it all out over that whole image. We only had to wax the top. It'll soak down through the paper. So this is the one that was our printer paper. This is the one that's the decoupage paper. And the decoupage paper is even thinner. So that, sorry, uneven table. I've got things underneath there. What is that under there? Oh, it feels like maybe a pencil or something. Yeah, paintbrush. That was uneven. So you'll be able to see your image, and you'll be able to see whether or not you've squished. I'm missing a little bit of wax down here in this corner. So I'm just seeing if I can squish some out to it. Yes. Move that off to the side. And then lift that piece of parchment away. And here is our wax covered image. It's already starting to dry. You can feel the wax on it. Oh, I had two images there. They were stuck together. Okay, I did a twofer. Okay, both of those are done. So these are the ones that we coffee stained, and look at how awesome they look. And they've got a stiffness to them. They've got that wax to them, so that again, they give that kind of translucent look. This is our decoupage paper. And again, it's got this translucency. It's like waxed paper. So it's got this translucency that, you know, that age, that if you're going to use it in any of your junk journaling or anything, but think about this even laid over some old drop cloth, the sign, the labels that you can make with that. So cute, right? They're just, it's just like an awesome look. Okay, you need to go long ways. just saying. And it's just a nice way to do a bunch of them all at once, and you know, have them on hand, have them ready, so that when you have, you know, you just happen to thrift that special little piece, you've got a special little project, you've already got some labels to be able to choose from. And I just love this. I love the look of this. I love the feel of it. It's got that aged, antiqued look. It's got that wax feel to it. So cool. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. I'm just going to carry on here, but you know that I love getting your thoughts, your comments. Is this something that you would use? Can you see needing it for some of the projects that you do? What do you think of it? You know, love to hear. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, take care.